guys situated here. Today is, well, I think it's Thursday, but what we're going to do today, we're going to lay up this section right here. I'm going to roll around to this section. Oh, this is a pretty good angle, actually. I didn't think you'd be able to see both sections. I thought I'd have to move it around, but we're going to start there, full layup, 1708 around the perimeter, and then 3610 on top. Same thing, wrap it around here. This is going to be a long one, y'all. My last live got cut off. Live layups 21 did get cut off at 45 minutes, and that was peculiar to say the least. But we're going for it. Oof, I missed a spot down there, taping off. Shouldn't be too bad. Anyway, my name is Damon. I am a boat builder. This is a brand new boat, and we are going to build it. We're building it together here on YouTube. I film a lot of this stuff that I do. I don't film the setup and the preparation, but I do film a lot of the laminates. Good masking tape. Recommended. That is 3M masking, automotive. You gotta shake up our vinyl ester. Get our vinyl ester shook. And we're gonna start. Like I said, this is gonna be a fairly long session here. If for some reason I have to abort, I'll finish this section here. That's absolute. And then when I move over to this section here, if for some reason this takes too long, I run into trouble, something goes other than according to plan, then I will have to hold off on this section. But if everything goes according to plan, nice and smoothly, we're just going to roll right around and knock this out and this out. And this layup goes all the way down to here, so it's going to be a little tight. It's going to be tight. This will be wet. I'll be working here. It's going to be tight, but that's the plan. If I can knock this out, then all I have to do in here to finish is a nice cozy little single layup to finish this section here. Then we move to the outsides and start bulking up out there. But well, the other thing too is we're going to put a flat floor in here, so that'll be a win. If we get all this done and we start putting a flat floor in here, we'll have another flat spot to work, to stand. So anyway, that's the plan. I'm going to start mixing some resin. Hey everybody, I can see your comments. Hi. I can see your comments, but I cannot type back because I'm wearing gloves and I'm about to get sticky. So what we're going to do, we got my scale. This actually does work. Covered in plastic so it doesn't get sticky. And I've got my nice used bucket here. I reuse over and over and over again. And we're going to zero out our scale over here. Oh, I could show you. Nah, it'd take too much work to show you what we're doing over here. I'd mess the whole angle up and then you wouldn't be able to see anything. So what we're going to do, let's see. You see plenty good here. All right, y'all. Building a boat. See who's with us today. Hey, thanks for joining me, bud. Yeah, this is going to be a long one. I hope you have 2 hours, maybe 3. This is going to be a long one. And I hope I don't have to pee in the middle of this because that's not really an option. Once I start, I cannot really stop what I'm doing. I've got to go. So we're going to go with it. I'm going to pour some resin over here real quick to get started. I'll show you what we're doing over here. I'll show you as much as I can. First thing we're going to do is weigh this. Let me show you what we got. So if you don't know anything about fiberglass, this is what I do. I build boats. I build boats start to finish. I don't just fiberglass. I paint them. I build them. They're custom built. They're actually absolutely, they are handmade to the owner's specifications. That is 44 ounces of resin. And now we're gonna go. What I have to do though, normally I talk too much. What I have to do is I've got to work. And I've got to get this wet out. A whole bunch of laminate's going to go on here. And I've got to work quickly. I've got some air conditioner blowing in up here. So it is helpful. We're going to pour off some of this. What did we say? Putting at 44 ounces. We're going to go just under 15. This is the initiator. This is MEK. It's called MEKP. That's short for methyl ethyl ketone peroxide. This is full strength. And we use full strength to catalyze the vinyl ester because you have to use full strength no matter what the temperature is out to achieve a 38-minute gel time. So we're going to go right there. This is an MEK dispenser, and I'm going to show you as I mix it up. This is kind of neat. This is science class. So the chemicals in here, this is vinyl ester resin. It's called a modified epoxy. They took epoxy and polyester, blended it. You see how it went from pink to brown? Well, it's not really brown. It's more like an olive greenish color. So that means it is catalyzed. Now, this is going to turn into a solid within 38 minutes. And we measure it out precisely so that we can count on it turning into a solid in 38 minutes. And that is our plan. That is how we proceed. So with that, we got to move quickly because we've got a lot of layers to pile on here. So we got to move pretty quick, but you got to make sure it's completely mixed. Any little uncured spot in the bottom, if that lands in the fiberglass over here, which this is fiberglass, and that's what we're doing if you have no idea what's going on here. Hey everybody, resin. This guy that says resin. I'm not sure who that is, but I did see your comments. The resin guy. You're back, huh? The resin guy. Yes, resin, buddy. Plenty of it. Funny. All right, we gotta go. I can't. I'd like to chit chat with y'all, but I've got to work. So let's get going. This is a 4-inch disposable roller. It's a one-time use only. Get these at Home Depot or whatever big box home repair or home whatever DIY place. They're about $2 a piece, but they're super handy for this application. They hold the resin pretty good and apply it pretty good, but they work like a good roller for laying this stuff down and rolling out air. What I want to show is all my little tricks. I've got tons of tricks. I try and detail all the cool stuff that I know that I haven't seen on YouTube yet. And matter of fact, I haven't seen anyone doing what we're doing here live on YouTube. So that I know I am a pioneer in this venture. That's kind of what I do. I like doing things that no one's ever done. So anyway, we're gonna figure this out. Now the thing about going live is there's a couple things. If something goes terribly wrong, like I pour this and spill it or step in it and fall, there's not much we can do about editing because there is no editing. Let's hope none of that crazy stuff happens, but it certainly has happened in the past. Things do go sideways, and I know I'm in the way. I'll try and stay out of the way. But like I said, I gotta build this boat, so y'all just sit back and hopefully you can see. Like I said, this is gonna be a long session because we're gonna go right from this panel here to the one I'm leaning against. But it's all gonna be wet and sticky. We're making some fumes today. If you don't know, this resin is vinyl ester, and it's got styrene monomers in it. That's what makes it thin enough to spread around here. I'm not sure what percentage of the material is styrene itself, but it's a pretty high percentage. I explained that in detail in my last video. Hopefully you can see this part right here. This part's interesting. This is what I call stretching or manipulating. You gotta let it soak for a minute, and then it just kind of lays down. Instead of taking scissors and cutting everything, you just kind of stretch it. Work with it. Lean over here like this, and then we're going to do the same thing over here. And get it nice and wet. I should also tell you, and I kind of feel like I'm repeating, but I don't think, you know what's interesting? So, 96% of you or who are watching right now, I don't know how many people are watching, but 96% of you are not subscribed to my channel. And only 4% of the people that actually see these are subscribed. So I think that's interesting. So I don't know where y'all come from, but if you do find this interesting, just hit the subscribe button. You know what else you can do? You can hype. I don't know if you can hype lives. I hype people's videos. I'm a big YouTuber follower, and I hype people's videos that I really like, that do a good job. I hope that I am doing a good job. We are doing a good job of making a mess right here on this backside. That's weird. We were doing stuff off. I am sitting on masking paper right now in case it should go really, really wrong. I can just, if I spill in here, I can peel up that masking paper and just keep going. Normally, I don't worry too much about masking. It's all going to get ground down. But, like I said, we got to move. That was 44 ounces of resin. We got to get it all on here, but we've got some other work we got to do here. I'm about to go grab some 1708 strips, and I'll show you how that works. That's what we got left. Let me show you my 1708 strips. First, we're going to do something a little bit special. I've cut these narrow strips here. This is all 1708. And I'll show you what I'm doing as I do it. So, let me explain. I'm going to whip these down here in a pile. Let's see if we can't do this. We'll figure it out. We'll make it up as we go. How about that? I'm wetting these out, and I'm going to make a stack here. They're going to sit there and soak for a minute. I've got a specific plan for these. Up here, this bulkhead is just it's almost level here, but it's a little bit low over here. That's just the way it went when it got infused. When we did the infusion, this boat was loaded. There's fiberglass, dry fiberglass everywhere. Big bag everywhere. It's really, really hard to see what's going on underneath there. Somehow or another, this bulkhead ended up about 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch low. So we're going to fix it now. I'm going to put this stack of fiberglass on top of it. I had considered putting like a foam wedge across the top and then glassing over it. And then I decided, I'll just bulk it up with fiberglass. So that's where we're at now. It does slow me down here, but that's what we're doing. So what we're going to do, I'll show you. And again, I know I'm probably in the way. You can see some of this stuff. So we're going to wet that. We're going to stack it on top here. And these pieces are going to, every single piece is going to get a little bigger than the last one. How do you call this? Whoops. It's going to make like a taper. You see that trick? Yeah. That's how I keep my right hand somewhat clean. I use the roller to hold things. Keep my right hand clean, keep my left hand messy. Like that. So every single time I drop one, it gets a little bit further. So it's stacking and building over here and then tapering as we go across. We're building a fiberglass wedge here. Now, the downside to this is, number one, it's taking time, and I don't have a lot of time. So I got to continue to move quickly. But the other downside too is this is going to get really thick, right here. And so I've got to roll all the excess resin out of this and make sure it's got a very high fiber content. Because if it has too much resin in here, this spot will get warm. It will heat up because of the thickness of the material, the exotherm of the resin. So it may heat up. So we got to be careful with that. This is the last layer. Well, the last of these strips. The graduated strips. The taper we're building. So that's pretty close. I didn't count those. If somebody was sitting there counting, go ahead and leave a message. Tell me how many we just dropped there. I was not counting. I want to say there's probably 6 of those. And guess what? We're not even done yet, because we got another one over here. Oh, just made a big mess over there. More 1708. Looks like this. We got another one. We're still not done. So we're going to soak this like this. We got enough room to set that one in there, top to bottom, all the way. Oops, oh, air bubble there. See how much resin we got. We got sticky hands, is what we got. Got my acetone bucket over here, some dirty rags for cleaning my hands off. Gotta keep your hands clean. I need my bucket over here. I wear latex gloves. I should get powdered gloves to make it easier to swap them. But I've just been using cornstarch like baby powder. Organic baby powder. Or cornstarch that you buy for baking or whatever it is. Same thing. Anyway, I powder my hands up so I can swap out my gloves quickly. Or you buy a latex glove that are powdered. But my point to the latex gloves is, hold on, let me work. My point is acetone does not eat the latex. Acetone does eat nitrile. You get out of the way so you can see. Acetone does eat nitrile, but it does not eat latex. Is this fuzz side up? Did we put matte side up? No, we got matte side down. We just got a little extra fuzz here. I've been saying this in the last couple of lives. In the boatyard, they say, you put the hair up or the hair down. They're talking about that matte. And I'm like, of course the hair goes down. But when you're working with epoxy does not require this matte as a binder. Polyester vinyl ester requires matte in between the layers as a binder. Let's keep going. We might need more resin. See how much we got. That's not going to be enough. We know that. So what happens is, the step is we get as much resin on here as possible. We're not just soaking this just to soak it. This is going to hold resin for when I put the 3610 on the vertical wall here. It's going to hold it vertically for us because of the whole gravity thing. And resin always trying to fall down. Got this damn gravity issue. Let's just soak all three of these real quick. I soak the vertical wall, that 3/4 ounce chop strand mat, CSM. In the industry, we call it chop strand mat. If you were writing it out, you would not write chop strand mat, you would write CSM. The abbreviation. So, anyway, it's just a tool. I use it on the last layer, I use it on the first layer. I use it on the first layer to hold resin, I use it on the last layer to finish up the fibers so they're not exposed. But it's just a tool. Doesn't add a lot of strength, but it does hold resin good, especially on a vertical. So we're going to need some more resin here in a second. Let's get these strips up. We're going to get messy again. Put that over there. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, guys. Again, you could subscribe to the channel if you like this stuff. Like I said, 96% of you are new viewers. I've never seen what we do here. What I do. Me. And I can't see your comments until 24 hours because YouTube takes 24 hours to process your comments. Then I can see them. Well, unless I catch a glimpse of them when I look at my timer. Sometimes I'll peek up there, look at the timer, and see where we're at. So if you can see how that tucks into those nice radiuses that I put on there? The beautiful big radiuses. Stick your hands, acetone over here. We tidy up. Clean our hands real quick. We need more resin. But we want to dry my roller out as much as possible so that resin, which let's look at the time real quick. How many people? Let's see, 20 minutes. Hey, everybody. Clean my hands, almost clean. Now we got to get rid of, oh, come on. Now we got to get rid of this resin. Now and mix more. we got to go. So 20 minutes, so that means we've got about 15 minutes to get that 3610 on here. Well, we got 2 more layers of 1708 to go. But by measuring precisely, knowing how long this stuff should take to gel, knowing what to expect when it starts to gel, and having a plan to abort, I know that I have 15 minutes to get that next layer on. So I can't mess around too much. I've got to move quickly. And there is something else we're going to do when we get up here. We're not going to stop. We got to keep going, but I need to take a hard roller to this section up here. And I need to squeeze the excess resin out of those 6 layers of glass that we piled down. I need to squeeze it out of there and get it to drain down this wall on this side. Not really the back side here. All right, let's go. We need more resin. We're empty. We're going to zero out our scale again. Zero the scale. It is zeroed. We're going to mix. I'm going to finish off this pail here. I dispense my resin into pails so I can handle it like this. Makes pouring much easier than trying to tip over a 55-gallon drum. It's not easy to do. I actually pump it out of the drums until it gets low. Once it gets down to like a quarter of a drum, I can throw the drum around, move it around, then I'll tip it over, pour it out that way. That wasn't enough, but we'll go ahead and go with it. We're going to have to mix a couple batches anyway. We just finished this one. We're going to have to mix, you know what, let's just get a little bit more. Whew. That one is full. Not that easy to move. Let me get some more here. I hope I shook this. I just gave a lesson about shaking pails the other day. You have to agitate this resin or shake it. Let's see how much we got. Whew, 52. That's a lot. We'll use it. 52. It's going to be, we're going to go, let's see, over 15. Go about to 16-ish. All right. That's a lot. Anyway, what was I talking about? Pouring resin, mixing resin. We catalyzed it. I did about 16 or 17. Trying to do the math in my head. It should be good. 52 ounces, that's a lot. We're going to need it. Most importantly, let me have a good time here. 23 minutes, that means we've got about, well, we've got 10 minutes to get a 3610 on there. So, we're doing pretty good on time. I'm still going to move like I don't have enough time. That's just how I do it. I'd rather have extra time than not have enough. So I'm going to pretend like we don't have enough time. This stick I've had for like, I don't know, gosh, at least pushing 15 years. This has been my mixing stick. It's kind of, it's got a good vibe. So I hold on to it. All right, let's go. Enough of that. So what happens with this stuff is it does get sticky. Vinyl ester, oops, now we're pouring it out. Vinyl ester tends to get a little bit sticky because there's some air flowing across the surface here, which is air conditioning, moving some air in here. I'll take it. Where can we set this? We're going to make a little mess up here, and I'll have to clean up later. Another piece of 1708 here. These are for the verticals. They go in the corners there. So this extra 1708 in the corners is because that's where we need the strength. This middle could be literally have very little glass on it. It could be hollow. We could cut the middle out and still have the strength of the bulkhead, as long as the outsides here are very, very strong. So, it's like if you imagine, like, if you've seen anything that was skeletonized for weight, that's kind of what I'm am referring to. So I put all the strength in the corners. All right, good plan. Keep our one hand clean, and we're going to do the old grab this like this, steer it with that. I know I'm in the way. Put that just right like that. I wrap the top here just like that. Yummus. That is 1708 in the corner. Do that all the way around. Oh, you know what? I didn't cut a strip for this bottom. Oh my goodness. At some point I will have to, when we get to the next lamp, I've got to run and go cut a strip for the bottom. How did I forget that until just now? Well, that's a fact. I will have to cut one strip of 1708 for the bottom. How did I forget that? Okay. I forgot it until I just remembered it. But it's alright. Okay, so now, like I say, we were on a time limit, or on a timer. We've got probably about 5 minutes now to get that 3610 saturated from the back, or putting that 44 ounces of resin on this 3/4 ounce isn't going to do anything for us. It'll just make it 44 ounces heavier, and we won't get the saturation we want out of it. So the whole point is that it helps saturate that 3610 from the bottom side, or from this back side here. We're going to take this fresh resin. We're going to completely gob it on here, get it to hold as much as it can hold, and then we'll drop our 3610 in here. Then we're going to try and push as hard as possible and extract all this excess resin into the 3610 from the back side. So it's just a tool. I was building or repairing a boat that I was doing 3 layers of 3610 in a shot. 3 layers, a stack of 3 on stringers taller than this, or about as tall as this. May have been taller than this. I don't remember exactly, but it was a lot. Doing this exact process right here. So let's go ahead and get this. I wanted to roll this out, but we're pushed for time, kids. So we're going for it. This top is getting sticky from that air. That nice cold air blowing down on it. I'm gonna make it sticky. All right, here's the 3610. This is the heavy stuff. This is the good stuff. And I got my pencil mark going around here. This helps me put it back exactly where it was when I just fit it a minute ago. So it should go right back where it was. We got our guides. We want it to wrap the top like this. A little bit more. We're going to have some excess. We may have to cut some corners. It's the only time we're allowed to cut corners. Want that to wrap just like that. Okay, so now we've got to get that excess resin out of here quickly. Quickly. Grab my scissors real quick. We do have to cut some corners here. These are not going to lay out like I want. So you got to cut little pleats in here. That'll be fine. A little extra there. I don't like to leave a stack there. I used to do it. Now on thinner material you can do it. You can leave that little flap and let it overlap. But on heavy material like this, that overlap tends to get warm. So I'm deleting it. Let's see here. All right, now we got like 3 minutes. 3 minutes to go. Uh-oh. We're going to have to listen to the ringing in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. We got 3 minutes. So what we want to do, I'm going to soap the top like this. Try and get out of the way so you can see. I'm going to soak the top, let it work into this top right here. But now what I want to do is get all this excess resin, set this up here for a minute. All that resin that we have in that 3/4 ounce, we want it to draw back out into here. This part is critical. We got to move quick because we are pushed for time now. Now we've got to go. So we're pushing as hard as we can with this little roller. I'm going to try and squeeze that resin, that excess resin, back out into here, into this laminate. And if everything goes right, we continue and we go over here. Do the same thing over here. So at this point, we have not hit this with a hard roller yet. That part's coming. I'll get there in a second. That part is coming. Oh boy. We're going to have to listen to that. I'm not sure what you guys can hear on that microphone. It does have noise canceling. I think it sounds better with the noise canceling on. Okay. But now, fact is, we still don't have it fully saturated. And although we know we're on a ticking time, we're on a ticking time bomb with that first batch in here. We know, what do we got here? We've got to wet this out because you can't roll dry fiberglass. You have to saturate it. Some of this is going to run down the back of the bulkhead. When I finish, I'll just, oh, there it goes. There it goes. Yep. Oh boy. Boy, did I just make that happen or what? Oh boy. We got a cleanup to do there. I said it was going to happen and it just did. We got a puddle going down the back. Oh, that's going to be a mess. Oh well, I'll clean it. Don't worry, I'll clean it up. Yeah, I always say this stuff can get pretty messy. You got to be careful. Try and keep your workspace clean. Keep your handles clean. Keep your hands clean. Keep your tools clean. So anyway, we're building a boat, as you can see. This bulkhead, if you're curious where we're at in this boat, we're in the center console, which initially this was going to be just a center console boat. But then we talked about a pilot house, and I'm pretty certain we're still going to build a pilot house, but that part of the boat does not exist yet. So we still have to build that part. Right now all we have is this hull and a cap. The cap is pretty basic, just a ring around the top there with not a lot of features, and all the features are going to be handmade. And of course a pilot house, and we've got a 175-gallon bait well. It's going to be in the cockpit. It'll be a transom kill box. I'm going to pause for a second and roll because look at the time. Let's look at our timer. 34 minutes. So I've really only got like 3 minutes to get that first layer rolled out. First layer should draw or should gel in a couple minutes here. Whoops. Gotta shake the acetone out of your tools. The first layer should start to gel. This is a 6-inch wide aluminum rib roller. What I really want to do is work this 1708. That stack of 1708, that's pretty good height. We added about 3/8 of an inch there, which it needed. That's a pretty good stack right there. So the reason I use this 3610 is because it's like doing 2 layers of 1808 or 2 layers of 1708 in one single layer, one layup, one shot. And it is strong. I build panels out of this stuff, flat panels on a flat mold. And this stuff is just, I mean, amazingly stiff. You can build a 1708 layup panel the same thickness. There's absolutely no question, there's no comparison. This is a stiffer panel. I think it's because these strands are just, they're heavier. I think it's a heavier, like the roving that they stitch together. It's just thicker, heavier material, and I think that's what makes it so much stiffer. Don't quote me, I'm a boat builder, not a scientist, but that's what I have experienced and seen. Alright, that's all we can do with this roller. So there's not really any puddles of resin, there's still some dry glass. I like to go across with the big roller, give it a once over. Look at the mess back there I gotta clean up. Look at it. I'm gonna ditch this for a second. We need to get some more resin on here. We still got some dry spots. That stuff is thirsty. Only so much you can soak from the backside. And to just keep piling it on. Now, this might look a little bit messy and like I'm drowning it. But in a minute here, I'm going to put some 3/4 ounce on it and soak any of the excess resin up. You'll see it soaks it up, finishes it out beautifully, and when we get the 3/4 ounce on here, all this wet mess down here, there's puddles. We just got to move fast. Can't dilly-dally around too much. That was pretty dry right here. Pretty dry here. Got to move quick. Because now we're past that time where that first batch absolutely should be gelling. And so it starts to firm up, and then you can't work it very good. And then you actually have to be a little careful with it, not to mess it up. When it's in a gelling state, it's kind of unstable. And if you push too hard on it, you can push it out of the fiberglass. And then you just have like crumbled resin in the glass. It has no strength. So you got to be a little careful with it when it starts to gel. If you've ever experimented with like Bondo, Bondo is a polyester filler. And it has some of the properties that is similar to this. But if you've ever mixed Bondo and you see how it gets hot, and when Bondo starts to set up and turn into a solid, from a liquid to a solid, we call it gelling in this business because it turns like jelly. But you can crumble it really, really easy when it's in that state. When it's going from liquid to solid, very unstable. and we can crumble it. And in this state, in this example, when it's going from open to a solid, I need new gloves. You can squeeze it out of the resin if you're a little too hard on it. All right, I think we have plenty of resin. I'm gonna stop, grab a fresh pair of gloves, catch my breath. Too old for this. Whoops. Getting too old. Anyway, how y'all doing? What are we at? 40 minutes. So yes, absolutely, 40 minutes. First batch is gelling. No way around it. Has to be. It's expected. Let me get some gloves. Has to be gelling. Get my talc over here. Fresh pair of gloves. I'll do a quick roll. Small roller. The big rollers aren't going to do anything for us at this point. We already rolled everything we could with it. So we're going to give it a good once over with this real quick. See where we're at. This roller is a 3-inch roller, 3/4 inch diameter. Hasn't gelled yet, but it's close. It might be gelling, but it's not hard. I can still roll it. That 1708, that first batch in there, those were down at the bottom there. There's a little bit of air, and those just rolled out real nice just right now. So we're doing okay on time. Which, to be candid with you, I'm always honest with you, so I'll just be candid. But to be candid with you at this point, a little extra time right now, I'm not complaining. If it takes 42 minutes to gel, I'll take it. Which, I mean, it's like 89, 90 degrees outside right now. A little overcast. But we've got this Saharan dust down here in Florida, and it's been hot. If I didn't have this air conditioning piping in here, I've got a mobile air conditioner unit out there, and it's pumping in. If I didn't have that, there'd be no way to do these sections at all. It's like the most important tool is to cool the air down. But I also cool the materials down. The materials are sitting here. They were sitting right where I am with the air conditioning cranking in here. Cooling the glass down, cooling my cutting shop is air conditioned. All that makes this doable. You wouldn't have time. I wouldn't have time. I don't know, you might. I wouldn't have time to work if it was 90 degrees in here, no air conditioning. Just wouldn't have time to get it worked out. Might start to be gelling there. That's what we expect. Which also reminds me, I've got this stack up here. Whoops. Gotta be careful with it. But remember that big pile of glass we put up here? Yeah, I think it is starting to gel. So now what you get, we've kind of got that gelled resin, and then we got the fresh resin that's still in our pail here. When they kind of blend together, they get a little wonky. And there's no question that they are mixed together, but they're in two different states. Good for adhesion, good for bond, but you've got these chemicals that are in kind of two different states, and what usually happens is the one that's gelling kind of forces the other one to speed up and catch up with it. I don't know the science behind it, but I know there's chemicals that start bouncing off each other, they cross-link, or something like that. Kind of fascinating, really. Think about it. Going from a liquid to a solid and becoming very, very strong. It's a pretty cool process. All right, let's get our mat on here. Now let's get this section finished up so we can wrap around the side here. I'm not 100% sure when I mixed the second batch. I'm not positive when I mixed the second batch. I should have been paying attention and made a note mentally. I did not make a mental note. This is a little tricky right here when you do this part right here. You kind of got to get it just right. Got to get that height just right. Once it sticks, it's just, you're not moving it really. You got to get the height just right. You got to have the right amount sticking around the sides. Really need that like that. We don't want it to move. We want that to wrap the top, finish out the back. This stuff we're just going to tear because we don't have time to stretch. We want to cover up all of our seams. That ragged seam right here, we cover this up with mat. When I go to laminate this side, I don't have to grind it I don't have to hit it with a grinder and do a lot. I might feather it just a little bit, but I don't have to get on it and try and grind all this fuzz off. Let's just put this back up here. How about that? See if we can do that. What you don't want to have is big wrinkles out here in the middle, because that makes a lot more work. There's really not much you can if you fold the glass out there, it just doesn't come out well. You get a big wrinkle out in the middle, you're just kind of screwed. It's gonna fold. You'll have a crease. It's just cosmetic, not structural, but you'd probably want to grind it off if it happened. Okay. Looking good. All right. Let's roll. Let's roll. Seriously. Let's go. All that comes off, just dipping in an acetone. It looks like this when it gets all, well, it got sticky. Oh boy. Shouldn't have said anything. Good enough. Okay. What time are we at? 48 minutes. All right. That's where we're at, 48 minutes. Want to hit this up top. Gravity is our friend. It's all going to fall down. So we're going to hit this. Have to get over there and clean up a little mess in the back, huh? There we go. So that flap on the back was kind of floating a little bit, but this 3/4 ounce mat will hold it down, pins it down. That overlap that went over the top and the back. The 3/4 ounce mat holds stuff in place, covers up that raw edge right there that would have been all prickly and messy. At this point, what we want to do is get this wet out enough that I can get on here with a roller and do a real good finish roll, the whole thing. I'll grab that big roller again, work this whole middle. There's a fold. You see how I just made one? We'll let that soak for a minute, settle down. Work it out. So there's 3/4 ounce. The purpose is, again, to draw the excess resin out of the 3610 to the surface here. I shouldn't soak it too much, but I want to pull the resin out of it. All right, we're going to park this thing for a second. This wetting tool, we're going to finish roll quickly. And then we're going to start working our way around the side here. First I got to do a complete finish roll on this before we can think about going around the side. All right, we're going to pause. A couple of spots there. Set this aside. There's just a little bit of resin left in there. You got to finish this baby out. With this, yep, that's pretty typical. Vinyl ester will do that. As it air dries, it gets really sticky. Polyester does not do this. That sticky, tacky surface, pretty typical. Once it gets wet, you break through the surface. It air tacks right on the surface. It's just the nature of vinyl ester. At least this one in particular. This chemistry, it does it every time. You can tell by the sound, I can tell by the sound that first batch is firming up. It's not squishy anymore. So that means we're on target. We're not under catalyzed. It's turning to a solid. I've done the past 3 layers of 3610, and I'll just go one on top of the next. When I do that, I back off on my catalyst a little bit more and I spread my window out. I'll get more like 45 minutes. But what happens is when you bulk up that layup, and you do 3 layers of 3610, that's a heavy laminate, and it produces a lot of heat. When it finally sets off and the last batch is kicking, it is getting hot, and it'll finish curing the first batches that were. So you're kind of spreading out your gel a little bit long, but you're making up for it with the heat that's generated from the thickness. Pro tip number 684. When you do a thick laminate, you can back off on your catalyst. Kind of bend the rules a little bit. You gotta know what you're doing. You just don't want to under catalyze. And you can also, if you really have to do something like that, you can also check the peak temperature of that exotherm with a temperature gun. And resin has specifications for peak exotherm, what it should achieve, the temperature it should achieve. You don't really want to exceed it, but you can make sure you get right in that peak exotherm temperature. That way you know you're getting full cure. They also have, I don't never really mess with it, they have something called a barcode meter that checks hardness. Somehow or another, I've never got into the barcode readings. Tell you the hardness of a material. I think that is more for gel coat, I think. I'm not sure. I gotta do some homework. I'll dig into that. I'll get back to you on that. I'm curious now. Okay, that's about as much as we can do with this one. Now we got a downside. Go to the top here. Whoops. Stickiest sticky. Stickiest sticky you've ever seen. Sticky. Try and get that to wrap. Don't see anything that's really jumping out. It's not too good right now. We're doing pretty good. I'm always amazed at how long this takes to do. It always takes longer than what I think it's going to take. But it is what it is. It's doing a good job, so that's more important than how long it takes to me. Got a puddle down here. Got more resin down here than we really need. Good news is, when I make the corner here, come around the corner, I can soak up all this excess and just pile it onto this other 3/4 ounce. It's going to be on my left hand, over here to my left. A second here. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. This is Live Layups 22. The main reason I do these live layups is because I've got to do this job anyway. The only difference is I'm talking the whole time. Hopefully it doesn't get cut off. My last one, Live Layups 21, got cut off at 45 minutes. I mean, I was about finished anyway, but I don't know why it stopped. Could have been just like a reception hiccup, a 5G glitch, or something. Yeah, triggered the end of that one. Jumped up and the live stream was ended. I didn't have to stop it. New feature. Wonder if it heard me talking. Maybe it's got automation built in. I don't know. Stopped automatically because I said I was wrapping up. These crazy AIs. That's one thing I've been pondering upon lately. Wonder how the AI is going to affect this industry. What are your thoughts on that? Anybody listening or watching? How is AI going to affect this? Is Elon Musk's robots going to be able to do this? I've been pondering on this some time now. How is that robot going to do this? I'm not saying it's not going to. I mean, it's some science fiction. Definitely some science fiction, science non-fiction, if it does, type stuff. That would be interesting. I'm not saying it won't. I just don't. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen what those things can really do. They better be able to clean acetone or clean resin off. They're going to have to wear suits, protective gear. I don't know how they're going to clean themselves off. Very interesting. That's for another topic. Okay, where are we at? We've got just enough in here to smother on our next layer. We're going for it, y'all. I told you this is going to be long. If it gets cut off, it gets cut off. I apologize. If for some reason the live gets shut down, where are we at? I've done 1 hour and 10 minutes. Had no problems in the past. But if for some reason this one does, if it does get shut down, what I'll do is I'll do a short. I'll do a 3-minute short of the completion of this. So y'all can come back. Especially if you subscribe, then you'll see it. If you haven't subscribed or if you got unsubscribed, like I say, 96% of the people that watch my stuff are not subscribers. It's fascinating. Like, how do these people find me? How did you find this? Fascinating. Oh, this is going to be really tough to do this side. I'm already cringing at how this is going to go. This is going to be very difficult. Whew. This is going to be cramped. We are going to get messy. We're going to have resin all over us here in a minute. Oh boy. Whose idea was this? This is going to be bad. I'm going to be bumping up against that. This is going to go bad. I can tell you right now. Can you see what's going on over here? Look what I got to do here. I'm going to have to lay this whole thing up like this. Whose idea was this? I kind of, you know what? I'm going to be very candid. Again, I'm always honest, so I'll just be candid this time. When I was doing it, or when I was preparing, I'm like, Man, I know I can do that other side because I did it over here. This layup I did right over on this side. That's how I did. I finished it. I'm like, that was pretty good. It worked well. Flowed right around the corner. But I had more room over there. I didn't think how tight this was going to be. This is tight. This is going to go bad. I can't tell. Tell you right now. All right, so we're at 1 hour on the dot. Good timing. We're gonna need some more resin, so I'm gonna set this over here. We are sitting right at 1 hour. Good for mental notes. I'm gonna grab some more mat right here. This I had. Let me see. I had this one. I already had this in here. So this should go right back where it was. Oh boy. Oh, come on. Not how it's supposed to go. I told you this is going to be all over. This is going to be a mess. But we're doing it. We're going for it. We are doing it. We're doing something. We're going to go. You know, I need to get my acetone bucket from around this back corner here. I won't be able to reach it. I'm not going to be able to reach over here anymore. This, if you haven't seen, this is how I keep my tools and something like this. We're going to have to move this over here where I can get to it. Let me see here. All right, collect our thoughts here. Here's what we need to do. Now that we're moving to this section, number one, this stuff over here. Whoops. This stuff over here is always going to go faster. This will be setting up right here in the corner while I'm working on this. So every time I do anything, I've already got my 1708 in there. Oh, you know what? We need to go get our 1708. I don't think I'll have time for that. I have a 1708 that's going to go up here. I don't think I have time for that. Maybe. Let me just pause and reflect here. Let me think about that. Let's pause and reflect. You guys take a break. I'm going to be right here, pausing and reflecting. I don't have the 1708 to go across the bottom. This already has it over here. I already did that one there. I have a strip for the top. If I was thinking, well, I could do 2 layers on the top when I do the other side. I could do that. Or I could go cut the 1708 real quick. I could do that too. Getting out of here is going to be a little interesting. Getting back in certainly makes things interesting. And I might. We're sitting at 1 hour on that layup. This is tight. Let me go hit that 1708. Pull a quick measurement here. We can do it. We can do it. We'll do it. Don't worry. While I'm out here, I'm going to jump back here and clean up some of this mess. I'll go get my 1708. We'll bounce right back in here. I'm not going to stop the camera. I told you this is going to be a long one. We'll just roll. We're going to keep going as long as the battery don't die. If the battery holds up, we'll just keep on keeping on. So real quick, I've dried out this roller, and I can afford another $2 roller if I have to. But I don't need it. This roller is now dried out. When I mix that next batch and I dip this in here, we've been using this for an hour. It should be hard. The first batch of resin should be hard. But when I dip this into fresh resin, it renews it. Squishes all the old resin out, fresh resin in. You can do this for hours. 3 hours max, probably, before you finally get caught. But check it out. I mean, that's the whole point. Never seen anyone teach that, and I learned it on my own. And so I always want to share that with y'all, because that's a pro tip right there. Pro tip 894. All my pro tips end in 4. I just like saying that. But that does, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to go change it. I could go change it, but then I got to do something with the old one. I got to get it out of the boat just to go change the roller. Nah, don't worry about it. Just clean it out. Dry it out like this. All right. Now oh boy. I'll be right back. Let me go get that piece of 1708. Pause and reflect. Get some more dust. Take a quick measurement here. I need a 1708 for the bottom. And I won't forget when I do the other side. Tape measure. How are we going to get out of here, though? We're going to say 36 inches. Be right back. Stand by, y'all. Going to get it. Cool thing is, you guys can hear me the whole time. Got these cool microphones. Going into the glass shop. We're in the cutting room. 1708, 36 inches. Welcome to my office. You guys have 36 inches on the cutting table. Good pair of shears. Bam. Here we go. Be right back. Keep the AC in the AC. I'm back. Back. Now we need to mix our resin. Get in here without getting hurt. There's our 1708. Oh, that was scary. All right, let's go. Next batch. Batch number 3. We're sitting at, holy crap, it's been 7 minutes since I said it was 1 hour. What did we do for 7 minutes? Sorry for dragging you guys along this long road. It's a journey. We're going. Okay, let's pause there. Fresh resin. We're gonna weigh this. 47. We're gonna go just over 15-ish. 15, 16. Right there. There's our catalyst. I like to squeeze that for you guys so you can see it. That's kind of fun, but it's crowded. I mean, I don't have room. Don't have room. Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. This is going to be a long one. We probably got another hour to go. Maybe 45 minutes, realistically. Stir this up really good. Oh, I didn't clean up the mess back there. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get some of this 1708 soak in here. Once I get some of this stuff soaking over here, I can take a quick jump out. I need to clean up the resin that dripped down the backside. That's going to be a real mess to clean up with a grinder. All right. Enough futzing around here, folks. Let's go. Okay, so now the plan is we got 45 ounces of resin. Same as always. Ooh, you know what? There's some extra space down here I didn't count for. Forgot about the bottom. So we've got our 45 ounces of resin. Forgot about the bottom. That's going to take some resin. It's okay. We have more. I like to stretch these corners. Sometimes it takes a little longer than I'd like. Anyway, the goal right now is to get all this resin on this vertical wall. You don't have to worry too much about the bottom. The bottom's going to get soaked no matter what. It's going to dribble, it's going to drizzle. The bottom will get wet. Don't have to worry about that. It's this vertical wall we need to soak, and it needs to hold all the resin. So we need to get it all out. All out up here. Hold on a second. Hold that thought. Stretch that like that. Whoops. Sorry if I'm in the way, y'all. It's crowded. It's tight. Trying to show you. I thought maybe I'd move the camera to a different angle. I think I'm just going to leave it where it is. Anyway, we're building the boat. This is the stringer now. What we just laid up was the rear bulkhead in the center console. This is the tub of the center console. This will end up getting a flat floor in the bottom and a drain system that will drain into our common drain. Common drain is unique to this boat and only one other boat that in existence that I know of that I've created. You go back on my old builds, I show some of Wicked Wanda. I never finished that build. I wish I could. I'm working on it. Working on a method to finish that. Got thousands of photos of Wicked Wanda and the Bertram. Literally, I think there's 20,000 photos and videos on my hard drives waiting to be uploaded. Working on that. Working on it. I'll get them up there. If it is the last thing I do. But obviously, this is my priority right now. I've got a lot of work to do on this boat. It's my priority. This is crowded, is what this is. Maybe a bad idea. This might have been a bad idea. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how it goes. Which one of these is longer than the other? About the same length. There's my 1708. That side. I'm going to soak this down here. This is crowded. Did I already say that? Yes, I did. Because it is. Oh. Ambidextrous. So I laid the mat side up. I soak it down here. You know what? I'll grab the other one while we're down here doing it. We're going to get both of them simmering. I'm going to let them sit for a second and simmer. I'll get that one too. This is the top. We already did our verticals. This is the perimeter. Extra layer of 1708 around the entire perimeter. Everywhere. Every corner, every joint. I say a joint, it's not really a joint in the boat because the boat is all one, but it's every corner. Where two planes meet there's an edge. Where two planes meet, two planes, that plane, there's a fillet in the corner. Everything that has a corner gets reinforced. Stress goes to corners. Let's set this, I can't leave it there because I'll knock it over. I do need to jump back out here where all that resin fell back over. Gotta do a little maintenance here. A little cleanup, aisle 7. Back here. Because, I don't know how bad it is. All these little drips would be a disaster to try and grind off. This wasn't too bad, but definitely worth stopping for this. Quick cleanup. All I'm doing is swiping them with that burger towel, my messy towel. I got messy resin towels all over the place. But they're good for this. Okay, now let's get back to work. I'll dribble there. I might be able to roll this out. Let's see if I can't reach that from. See if I can reach that. Gotta get back in here. Thanks everybody for hanging out. This is gonna be a long one. We're at an hour and 15. It's gonna be 2 hours by the time we're done. Let's see here. This is the top. This is a 1708. We're gonna just go drop right here. Like this. I'll take this one down here and just flip it. That one just goes right in there, in the corner. Now I did these big corners and I showed that. I just did a short the other day showing these corners. How valuable these corners are. You don't have to cut, and those just drop right in there. They wrap right in there. The 1708 loves that radius. 3610 does too. And you don't have to cut it and splice it and all that. It just wants to go right in there. Happy. Where's Mastone? It's happy down there. There's a lot of resin down there on the bottom, so real quickly, I'm going to just pause. I'll do normally I don't waste time doing this, but that's a lot of resin underneath there. That 1708 there. Big puddle of resin under there. We don't need it underneath it, we need it on top. Okay. Now it's finished soaking. Whoops, making a mess. I know what I wanted to do. Back here, where this wrapped over, let's see if this is still liquid. Setting up now. That little edge there was trying to lift off. If it does, it does. I'll just grind it flat. And when I glass the back side of this panel, I'll wrap it again. So if it's going to be a problem, it'll be a problem. It's fine. It'll be a problem. I ain't worried about it. But, all right, let's go. We need to get our resin out of the bucket. Get as much on this vertical wall as we can get on here. Mix some more resin. It's crowded. There. I knew this was going to be challenging, but I didn't know it was going to be this tight. It's okay. Practice at a high level. So, get that air out of there. Like I say, we're going to soak this. Burn up this resin. Burn up this pail. Get that 3610 in here. And finish it. We're going to need some more resin. So I'll show you again. It wasn't that long ago when we just mixed this batch. I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes ago, since I mixed this batch where I had dried it out. Maybe it's been 15 minutes since I dried this roller out, but I'll say it again. I'm going to drop this 3610 into this. It's going to start soaking all this up from the bottom side. Hopefully there's enough resin on here to make it easy to wet out. That's the plan. That makes it easy to saturate that 3610. We're going to try and just soak this. Just try and get it to hang on that wall. Hang up there on the vertical. Fighting the gravity. Whew, I'm thirsty. I should have grabbed some water when I was in there. Would have taken, what, 30 seconds? Oh well. We're not going back in the office until we're done. Yeah, finish the job. Finish the job. Let's go. Alright, just to prove we got rid of it. We're going to throw this 3610 in here. I don't remember if I fit this or not. Certainly looks like I might have. Let's find out. Did I fit this? You know, I don't know if I fit this or not, y'all. Might have skipped that step. We may have skipped fitting this. Well, let's see what happens. I think I just skipped it. We're going. We don't have time to stop. We are going. No, we're going to have to do a little fitting on the fly. I do like this stuff. It's 3610. I do like it. It will actually stretch a little bit. I should have pre-fit it, but I did not. I thought I did. I thought I had already cut it, made my marks and everything. I didn't notice until I just grabbed it just now. I'm like, hey, there's no pencil marks on this. Guess what that means? It means we didn't fit it. It's okay. About to fit it. It's fitting now. It's fit. It is fit. Now, it'll be really interesting cutting that. It'll be really interesting. Alright, so what we want to do, I've got some trimming and nipping to do, but more importantly, we need to start saturating this. I can always do this little trimming and nipping. These little corners, these pleats here. We'll get to those in a second, but we want to soak out that roller, dry out the roller, extend the life of it, and then I've got to do my little trimming here and there. Man, it's tight. Let's see if we can't pull this up just a little bit like that. Stretch that a little bit more. Okay. We're good. Whew! I told you it was going to be a good one. I told you. I knew it. So far we haven't gotten to not too many snags. Not too many hiccups. Now what I want to do is, like I say, dry this roller out. And two for one. We're extracting all that resin that we piled on the vertical wall. We're dragging it or pulling it back out into this 3610. And we're drying our roller out at the same time so we can mix another batch. This is a 2-for-1 process here. We're doing both. Accomplishing both at the same time. You gotta clean up this mat on the back. That's not that critical. That's just a quick buzz with a grinder. Not that important right now. Uh-oh. Problem. We broke our roller. Let me go get another one. Stand by, kids. Let me see if I can slap it back together real quick. See if we can just keep going. Broke our roller. I was a little hard on it. Got a little aggressive there. Let's see if we can't keep going. If it does it again, I'll go get another one. But if I don't have to stop for that, I'll just keep going. I was getting a little rough with it. Ugh. We're getting sticky. Tight quarters here. Whose idea was this? Somebody needs to talk to the boss, whoever's in charge here, and have a good little sit-down powwow. Discuss planning. It's crowded. Did I say that already? It is really crowded in here. It is tight. This was a silly idea. I knew I could do it. I'm gonna do it. It's tight. Admittedly. Okay. We're done with that roller. I'll be right back. I'll come back, mix some fresh resin. Stand by. Get some fresh gloves, fresh resin. New roller. Stand by. Stretch our legs out. We're not going to go get water yet. Not worried about that. I know you can go longer without food than you can go without water. But we'll be alright. Get some gloves on here while I'm out here. Get these gloves. That talc helps. Baby powder. It's cornstarch is what it is. It works. Slap those gloves right back on. Okay, we need some more resin. Caution, cuidado. Getting dangerous here. Where do we put our roller? Need more resin now, because you can't roll dry fiberglass. So, brush roller. Good to go. 0 hour scale. And let's see here. Who wants to guess how much? How much should we mix here? I like somewhere around 45. Been pretty good for us. Go right around 45-ish. See if that can. It might be way too much. Ooh, that's 50. 51. Might be too much. Let's see here. We're gonna go about 16 cc's here. Make sure. About 16-ish. Make sure. We'll give it a little extra. 17. Okay. With our vinyl ester. Came out to be 51 ounces. Probably quite a bit more than we need. But I always would prefer to have a little bit left over than to run out right at the end, right as it's setting up. Run out and then have to mix more resin and then end up throwing it away because the part's already cooked by the time I get it mixed and back on there, and you miss the window of opportunity there. So I'd rather have a little bit left over. Let's do it really, really good. Vinyl ester, 100%. And let's finish. Thank you guys for hanging with me. This one's about, I didn't expect it to be this. I knew it was going to be tough. I didn't know it was going to be this tight, though. It didn't occur to me that it would be so crowded. Should have expected it. But I know I did that back one, or the one over there, just like this. Did the back panel and then the side panel right next to it, exactly like we're doing it here. Same position, but I had a lot more room to work. Definitely had more space. Okay, so what I want to do, I still have some nipping to do, but I do want to get this on here, get it soaking in. I can work out the little details down here while the resin's soaking in here. I've got to nip my corners. I've got a little excess down here on the bottom that I don't need. A little more overlap than I wanted. I know I'm in the way here, but I'm working. I've got to hurry on this back corner here because this is going to go before anything else. Just remember that as I'm doing it. I'm like, yep, this is going to be the priority. This will set up first. That back panel will absolutely trigger this seam over here that I'm working right now. It'll trigger it. And it'll set up faster than anywhere else on this whole wall. So we'll focus on that. Get it soaking in. Give it a minute. Okay, I'm going to hit the top one more time, and then I'm going to do my trimming with my scissors while this soaks for a minute. I'll peek at the clock, see where we're at on our time. How long have we been going? See if anyone's here. Anybody with me? Anybody hanging out? What was that? Something out there popping, making noise. I definitely have more resin than it's going to require to finish this. That's okay. All right, let's get my trimming done. Scissors. Show you what we need to do. If you can see, I know it's tight. We got to trim this corner here. That's going to go there. I'll tuck back in there, and then we'll trim this like this. I'm going to make a little pile in here. This corner, this isn't necessary, but I've been doing this recently. It does make it a lot nicer. Nice round corner like that for that. Get my pleat there. Over here, I know I'm in the way. We got to cut this like that. Fix a little pleat there. Put that back like that. Got it. And then here, let's see. Like that. I want to take a sliver off the bottom, but it's so awkward. Not sure how I'm going to do it. Like this. Working. Just trying to get a little bit of sliver off the bottom. Right here. Alright, that's going to work. Take all that. I got a little bucket on the other side there. Clean that up. Drop my mixing stick. Get my, tuck these little spots again, hit the top one more time. Let that soak. I'll clean up whatever drips on the back. Not too worried about that. Hit whatever's dry down here. focus on this back corner. We know is going to sit up first. All right. Now what I'm going to do, I got resin everywhere. Everything's soaking. I'll get this down here. It's a little bit dry. Let this soak for us because it'll be nice and translucent back here in a minute. If I give it plenty of resin. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this back like 99% finish so that if it does start to set off before we get our mat on it, it's not going to matter. So we'll do that right now. And I know I'm in the way. See if I can't move the camera, maybe you can see. Rolling. All right. So this back here is going to set off because of the back setting up. We got to finish this out pretty dang complete. Give ourselves a little space here. Little room to work. When you're going down a whole side or building a big part, this is kind of how it works too. You can go in stages. When I built the 23 that I built hand laid, I was using a wet out gun for that. But if you had a wet out gun to do this, this would be a disaster. You would have resin everywhere trying to spray in here with a wet out gun. It's pretty messy. For doing a big part, it's pretty good because you can cover a lot of ground quick, and you can just spray as much resin. You can empty a drum if you want, just piling resin on. But for doing stuff like this, oh my god, I can only imagine the mess it would be if I were to drag a spray machine in here. It would be a mess. Handy for doing a hole though. Won't lie. Okay, let's look up here real quick. Check my back, that's completely set up. Back's done. And that little flap is down. It was floating, it's down. We got that. Okay, get this big roller down. Knock out the big stuff. Not oversaturated yet. You see when it's slinging a little bit of resin on me? You tell it's got, a little bit of resin, but back here, that's still dry. That needs more resin right there. Still doesn't have enough resin. Which is why I do this rolling like this. It shows you what's dry. What needs more resin. This pushes the air out, pushes the resin in. I was joking around in one of my lives. I'm like, it just does it. It's magic. There's no explanation. There's no science behind it. You just roll over top of it, and magically, the resin replaces the air. And that's just kind of how it is. You push the air out, the resin fills the void. Basically it. Try not to put my elbow into the bulkhead behind me. All right. It still needs some more resin, but let me do this real quick. Ooh. Let me do this. I've got my little roller. The big roller is just a little too big for working anywhere on this bottom. The bottom of this hole right here is curved. It's not flat there. So that big roller, or this 6-inch roller, just spans the curve. It only touches on the edges. So it doesn't do anything down here to help. There's the little guy. In a second here, I'm going to grab the resin again and just wet out all the dry stuff. There's a white spot here. Little white spot there. Bothers me a little bit. Almost looks like, to me, looks like moisture. I think when I was grabbing it, I might have seen a drip come out of my mask. That could be moisture from my mask. See a white spot there. Okay. Anyway, if you get white resin or moisture into your fiberglass, the resin does not saturate that spot. It'll stay white. If it really, really, really bothers me, and I feel like it, I'll grind it out. If it's really, really bad, we'll see how it acts. We'll see how it looks when it's cured. Let's put all this stuff aside, clean this real quick. Get our resin on here. We're going to wet top so it's nice and translucent. Fully translucent. Let that just bathe. Let it soak. Pretty good. This is a tiny bit more. Not going to overdo this. Whoops. That was messy. Really want to focus on the back. Pay attention to the back. It's going to go first. Back's going to trigger first. And we're going to grab that 3/4 ounce and we're going to finish it. I think I tore my 3/4 ounce to size. Pretty sure I did that. Yeah, I did. Maybe. Find out in a second. I'm not 100% sure that I tore my 3/4 ounce to size. Perhaps I did. We're going to find out. Damn white spot. Moisture. The moisture from the mask. Son of a bitch. All right. That's enough. We're good. Let's get our 3/4 ounce on and finish. Looking good. Nothing we can't fix, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. Where are we at? What time are we at? I'm whooped. We are at 1 hour and 45 minutes. Thank you everybody for hanging out. Let's see. Let's finish it. I want it to wrap the top, go around the back here, finish the front, enough to wrap the top. We good? How are we looking? We're good? Once you commit, you can't really, there's nothing I could do at this point. I can't change my mind. Once it sticks, it sticks. It's stuck. When it's done, it's done. Once it's stuck, it is stuck. Pretty good. I am a little bit missing back here. I've got a little more than I need up here. Got some excess in the front. It's not too much, really. That's not that bad. We're not going to worry about trimming that. Actually, it's not even that bad here. But in the back, I'm missing some. And I'll just grab a strip of what I call soft. I'll show you. I'll just grab a piece of this stuff up here I tear ahead of time. Where's it at? This stuff here. This I call soft edges. I tear all this ahead of time. We need just a little bit here where that came up shy. And there's a little bit right here as well. And a little bit right there. Okay. And then we finished. Wet it out, roll it again, draw the excess resin out of the, we'll draw the excess out of the 3610. Pull it to the surface, finish up. Call it. Finish it. It's all downhill from here, folks. This is all downhill. We're coasting now. 2 hours of lamination live. 2 hours. That broke that roller. If I didn't break my roller, well, honestly, at this point, I'm kind of wondering if the chemicals, I mean, I was rolling it pretty hard, but I've never had one really break like that. I think that just soaking in chemicals for that long might have kind of broke down the whatever glue holds these things together. Perhaps it could have been that. Or I was just rolling too hard, which I was. I'm not going to worry about this fuzz on the back at all. That's a distraction. That's easy with a sander. Grinder tomorrow. Just knock that fuzz right off. It's not the prettiest thing right now for video or photo, but it's not that important in the big scheme of things. That's a very simple fix. The cost of messing with that is if I pull up the 3/4 ounce mat, I don't know if I make it worse than it is, and it'll come out. There'll be a big air bubble there, so I'm not going to fool with it. Talking about the little fuzzes on this back bulkhead, we're going to leave those alone. Home stretch, y'all. Home stretch here. Curious what my battery looks like. I'm curious what the percentage is on the battery right now. Find out in a minute. Okay, we've got to save just like this last little bit of resin. Actually, we consumed more resin than I thought we were going to use wetting this out here. I didn't think I was going to use all this, but we're going to start finish rolling real quick. Let's finish roll quickly. Looks good to me. Looks real good. Looks really good. We got a dribble of resin left. Keep doing that. Just a dribble of resin. Not much. Okay. You gotta focus on this back. Focus on this. We knew the bulkhead, this rear bulkhead, has to be set up at this time. And it's gonna accelerate this back edge here. So I'm just gonna focus on finishing this right now. And then I'll wrap around once this is done. This is like work. This feels like a job. I thought this was going to be fun. I'm not doing these big layups anymore. Too much work. No, just kidding. Just kidding. This ain't that bad. In hindsight, I'm trying to remember. It just occurred to me. I'm like, well, what is the longest consecutive layup I've ever had to do? I'm trying to remember what it was. Can't think of it. Like consecutive, like no stop. Trying to remember. Probably 3-4 hours, maybe. No break. Trying to recall where I was and what I was doing. But nothing's coming to me right now. Could have been doing like something in the hull of the 23 stringers. I don't recall though. I really wish that I had more video back then of that build. That's kind of why I'm documenting every part of this. Because I regret that I didn't do as much video of the 23 build that I did at that time. Your phone wasn't a super high quality video capturing device at that time. Or now phones, I mean, I know there's like very high-tech cameras and stuff as well. But your phone does a pretty good job of capturing video these days. Back then that wasn't really the case. Wasn't that long ago. Alright, I'm going to have to switch positions here. Park the little guy for a minute. Let's knock out the big stuff. Now, this could get sticky. Let's see. It's going to want to be sticky, like that. When it's like that, if you just go in there, you know, full on out and just roll, you can pull air up everywhere. But once it starts to get resin, kind of, you break the tack off the surface, and you get to the resin below the surface just by squeezing it, it acts completely different. That tackiness just kind of settles down. Just kind of got to ease into it a little bit. Looks really good. If I say so myself, from my vantage point, I'm not sure what you guys can actually see from there. But from right here, that looks pretty good. When I say that, what I'm looking for is any little air pockets, little air voids, air bubbles. And it's like 100% translucent. And that's what I mean by that looks good. There's no air. Full saturation. No dry spots. Fully saturated. No dry glass. Only spot that bothers me is that little white spot right here where it must have been that drip from my mask. I thought I saw a drip, I wasn't sure. That's what that was. We're getting it. As soon as I finish this vertical, I'll go across the top. This roller is not going to do any good at the bottom. The bottom's not flat enough. I've got some air in here I got to get back to. I'll come back with the small roller in a second. I'll get everything I can get with this roller. I'll park it, grab the little guy, go back around, finish up, and that'll be done. Now I'll shut you guys down right at 2 hours. Live layups. 20, what was it, 22? Yeah, I'll stop you right at 2 hours. 2 hours, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. How about that? Where are we at? Ugh. We're at 1 hour and 57 minutes. Yep, I'm going to stop that clock at 2 hours, 2 minutes, 22 seconds. We'll see if we can't do that. We got 5 minutes to go here. That should be just about right. I should be buttoned up by then. Live layups 22 at 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 22 seconds. We'll see if we can't do that. That'd be interesting. That's it, y'all. I'm not sure if I taught anybody anything in this one. I hope I did. I hope somebody learned something. I hope there was some usefulness, some gain for somebody. Somebody saw something and was like, you know, I've been struggling and I figured out exactly what I needed to know right then and there. I hope so. I'm not sure what that would have been, but maybe for that person themselves. Like, I've been trying to figure that out. I spent 5 years trying to sort this out, and you just explained it right there. You solved all my problems. Well, I'll tell you what, this big roller is not solving my problems. So I'm going to park it. We'll have to get on the backside with a rag. We're going to park this baby. We're going to finish it up. Thanks again for hanging with me, everybody. I knew it was going to be a long one. I'm glad we finished it, though. There was a point where I thought we may have to abort. Let's see, where we at? Oh, I got 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to pull the trigger and stop. We're going to try it. Let's see if we can't finish. We got 2 minutes, everybody. Oh, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. That's sticky surface. Gotta be careful. Just push it to the side. Just push that air bubble out here. No sense fighting with that. Stubborn. super stubborn. Just the way that material is. It gets tacky on the surface, wants to lift off. Polyester don't do that. Not even a little bit. Realistically, polyester resin is way easier to work with. But, I say this every single time, 50 times more stress cycles. Why do we work with this? Why do we struggle? Well, 50 times more stress cycles than polyester to failure. 50 times more stress. Ugh. This stuff is tacky. I'm literally making more air back here than I'm rolling out. Why is it so tacky? Good airflow? Must be the good airflow. That air moving across the surface, that's what does it. I had a fan, when I was doing some of the layups in the front of the boat, I had a fan blowing across. And it got so sticky so fast, it was like, oh my gosh. It was so hard to work with. I'm like, forget that fan. It's not worth it. I'll just sweat. There's so much work. Forget that fan. This, I do have some nice cool air blowing off. It's worth it. No, this is worth it. To have that cool air blowing here, yeah. I'll do some extra rolling. No complaints here. Okay, we're going to stop that at 2 hours, 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Did we miss it? Oh, we did miss it. Would have been cool if it was 2 hours, 2 minutes, 22 minutes, 3 seconds. Thank you everybody for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I will try to keep it shorter next time around. But thanks again. Take care, y'all. We're going to call it a wrap. Let me button up. Until next time. See y'all. Thanks.